Hello, this is Richard Amoroso coming to you from my northern location just outside of Philadelphia. I have a concert in a few hours, that's why I'm sort of half dressed, don't have my jacket and tie on yet, but just before you know it, I'm going to be leaving here and playing a concert. So in response to some of the questions and comments, I thought I'd do a deeper dive into trills and do a deeper dive into Kreutzer 15 and how to do it well. So let's just go back and start again with the fundamentals of the trill, which is basically to keep the fingers and hand balanced, okay? And I mentioned the balance, but I'm going to go a little bit deeper. So when I talk about balance, I talk about thumb position and the first the fourth finger feel. If I feel too sort of backwards with this hand and I'm extending with the fingers, it's definitely not as comfortable and I don't really have as much of the knuckle performing the trill as I would like. So let me turn around here and you can see the thumb is, generally speaking, you can have it back here, which is fine. I like to have it between my first and second finger. But I really feel that the hand is balanced between the first and fourth finger. If anything, I reach a little bit backwards with this first finger, keeping the fourth finger really stable. In addition to that, I want you to check out the angles of the finger into the string. As you can see, the angle of the finger is very sort of not a 45-degree angle, but definitely not like this, where it's 90 degrees and up in the air, you know, where I'm not actually touching the string with the side of the finger. It's so important to have this finger balanced on the flat spot of that finger. And you can look at it from this angle as well, okay? Never like this, okay? We don't want to be working sort of backwards or feeling like we're sort of creeping up on the fingerboard. Those angles are so important in terms of just having the balance of the hand. Not only that, but the fourth finger and the first finger feel very sort of even in terms of the pressure on the string. That alone is so important. So now let's talk about Kreutzer 15 again. As you can see, there's a trill after an eighth note and then an ending. First, I would suggest that you start just doing it without the trill and doing really good just sort of articulations of the first note and then the ending. With a very stable hand, very sort of balanced hand, with all those proper angles that I mentioned. And you can see it's very stable, very simple. Now let's just talk about the trills, okay? It's different for each finger and it's different for each interval of each finger. For example, a minor second half step versus a whole step, you have a different feel in terms of the balance and the widening of this joint. Same with second and third finger. Third and fourth finger. Okay? Again, it feels a little bit more strenuous to stretch and trill at the same time. So you might even want to just try to start with just minor seconds or half steps with first and second finger or second and third. Those feel a little more comfortable. The feeling of the first and second finger versus the second and third finger definitely feels different. My first and second finger feel a little stronger than the second and third, and of course much stronger than the third and fourth. So I would definitely start with the lower fingers here. Okay? The other thing to consider are where the finger articulates from, and that's from the knuckle. The finger definitely moves up and down from the knuckle, okay? And that's where the strength and the power come, okay? And you can hear the sort of hammering of the fingers. Even the fourth finger, especially the fourth finger. That's where the fourth finger really will be strengthened if you articulate from the knuckle. And the other thing I mentioned in the last video is that you don't want to trill from too high, because you can't go that fast if you go from too high above. It's basically a centimeter above or maybe a little bit more or less. And I really feel that articulation. Again, I really highly recommend using a metronome and hearing the subdivisions and hearing the evenness of these trills. Whether it's 8, 16, sextuplets, or you name it, it doesn't matter. It's just these intervals, or excuse me, these articulations have to be extremely even. You might even want to do rhythms and really feel the hammering of the third finger and the fourth finger all the fingers for that matter. A good feeling is to imagine that the strings are sort of like a hot stove, and all you want to do is hit it and then get off of it without burning your finger. That really kind of gives you a good feel for the articulation of that, of each finger, okay? And then you can do it, like I say, with rhythms. And you can make it up and be creative and create your own exercises. Once you've established the articulation, then you really do have to remember to keep that bass finger very stable and very balanced in the hand. Doing different rhythms, okay? Then, after doing this, add the trill. Then I would just start slowly, maybe doing 2 or 3 trills within the structure of the bass note and the ending. So, 1. Okay, that may have been 2 or 3, but just making sure that the trill is faster and you're sort of feeling like that fluttering. Okay? Always making sure that the structure is trill, ending, trill, ending. Then you can also start from the upper note or the lower note. It's just sort of your preference, and it's good to do both. Of course, there are excerpts where the trills kind of are ongoing. And really, that's quite hard. And what I would suggest is maybe different fingerings and just practicing it with rhythms. Always feeling, like I say, this sort of structure and balance of the hand. And then maybe you can even just change the fingerings if you like. And shift. And then I would use rhythms. I definitely suggest using triplet rhythms because it really balances out the sort of the up and down motion. Okay, especially if you're going from one trill to the next. And if you can listen closely, they're definitely very even and have sort of like a sextuplet rhythm to them. So give that a try. Let me know what you think. Again, please leave comments. Again, keep this hand very, very light. Keep it balanced, and I assure you, your trills will definitely get better. Okay, thanks so much. We'll see you soon.